Okay, we're going to take a quick look at the new template Dugout, and specifically we're going to look at how to modify the top and bottom name tags on the scoreboard. And so the way that I've set this up is I had to use a smart object, and we did this in order to maintain the perspective shift that's on this text, so that this will allow you to just edit the text and with a couple small tweaks be able to keep everything looking like it belongs on the scoreboard. So let's take a look at this. What we want to do in our layer stack, we're going to scroll down near the bottom here, and we're going to look at the scoreboard layer. And if you take a look at this, we're going to see that this is a smart object, and you can tell because of this little layer icon that's on the thumbnail. So what we want to do to edit this text is we actually need to dive into this scoreboard here. So we're going to double click on this layer thumbnail, and it's going to open up a new document with the scoreboard in it. Okay, so from in here we're going to see that we have the scoreboard with some shading and stuff like that, but we're looking at this top text and bottom text. Now these are also smart object layers, and again, this is to maintain this perspective shift so that you don't have to manually do much changing there. And so we're going to do the exact same thing. So if we want to change the top text, we're just going to double click on this layer thumbnail. It's going to open up a new document now that just has a normal text layer in it. So we can just edit this text like we would any other text. So we're just going to call this, let's say Charleston. And now I want to make one quick note here. As long as the text fits within the current document here, you're okay. But let's say that it was a little bit longer. Let's do a space and say this was Charleston Cats. Okay, now that this text is longer than the document, in order to keep this from clipping off, what we need to do is just go ahead and apply our text change. But we're going to do a quick little crop adjustment here. So basically what I'm going to do is select the crop tool. I'm going to clear out any ratios that we have in here. And the simplest thing to do is just go back to the move tool now, back to crop. And once it has our entire bounds here, I'm just going to grab this left hand side here, and I'm going to extend it out until it goes past the beginning of our text. And then I'm going to apply it. So once we see all of our text is in here okay, reads the way that we want it to, we can just simply close this document. When it asks us to save, we're going to say yes. And you can see it's already updated the text on this upper portion. Now it's a little bit longer than the sign, so all that we need to do here is just a simple resize. So Command or Control T, and then I'm going to hold Shift Alt, and I'm just going to drag this down, and then I'll use my arrow keys to kind of reposition this onto the sign where I like it, and click Apply. And so that changed our top text. So we'll do the exact same thing to the bottom one. So let's double click on our smart object. Now we have just a normal text edit here. So just for demonstration, we'll call this Wildcats. We can see again it's a little bit longer than our document size, so we're just going to grab the crop tool again, extend this out to where all of the text is in it, apply, close the document, save. We're going to say yes, and you can see it's updated. And again, I did this with smart objects because you can see here the perspective on the sign is maintained as long as we edit it through the smart object. And so from here, this can be resized if you wanted it larger or smaller. That could all be done right here, and we'll apply that. Once we have the text updated to what we want it to be, we're just going to close this document. Once again, we're going to say yes to save the changes. And then you're going to take notice in the template, you have the new updated text. Everything is in line with perspective the way that you would expect it to be.